So talk to me a little bit about what's going on. This has been, what is this, day 6?
I think, yeah, we're day 7, depends on how you're counting it, but the Senate Republicans are denying a quorum here in Oregon for House Bill 2020, which is a carbon tax. And we just feel like that our constituents' voices aren't being heard and respected. And so the only option that we had left was to deny a quorum to slow this process down to get people to take a look at this bill.
And talk to me about where you went initially and how you ended up here in the Spokane area.
Well, I've been in 4 different states over the last 7 days, and the governor has said that she is sending the state police to look for us and bring us back. And so we moved out of the state of Oregon into border states to make sure that we were safe. And the Oregon State Police Superintendent has contacted us a couple of times and asked us to return. He's been firm, he's been persistent, yet polite, and I have politely declined his request to return at this time.
June 30th is kind of the end day, right? That's when the legislation ends. Is that the date you guys are all, there's 11 Republican senators who have left the state?
Yeah, the Oregon 11, as we're called, have left the state, and we have a 12th member who's going to be sworn in on Friday, who is replacing a senator who passed away. And so there'll be 12 of us at that point. But June 30th is the deadline for the legislature to adjourn in Oregon. The governor has said if we don't come back, she'll call a special session in early July. And so we are hoping for a negotiated settlement that's bipartisan, bicameral, and optimistic that that's going to happen in the next few days.
What kind of feedback have you been getting from your constituents?
Well, we had interesting, the local Democrats in my area had a rally last night to try to get me back to the Capitol. My supporters said that they wanted to counter rally across the street, and there were a lot more of my supporters than there were of them. And so, you know, I'm hearing both sides of it. But the most important thing to me is that coming from a district that's in the minority and outside of the big metro areas, we feel like we need to be heard, and that our ideas and concerns need to be incorporated into these bills. One of the things my constituents want is they want to vote on this particular piece of legislation.
And you don't think that's too much to ask?
I don't think it's too much to ask. We have a vigorous direct democracy in Oregon where we have the initiative process, the referendum process, the referral process, and all of those end up in the hands of voters. And for a policy this big that essentially taxes carbon, which means a 22-cent a gallon gas tax to start out with. It means natural gas prices rising about 50%. It means manufacturing jobs lost. And there's a plant up in the Astoria area with blue-collar union jobs, and that is in jeopardy right now because of this bill.
Would you say Governor Brown is being hypocritical in her condemnation of the Oregon 11?
Well, I would just say that there's not a lot of consistency in the Democrat position. In 2001, the Democrats left the building over redistricting plan for about a week. And I happened to be a Republican in the House at that time. And the current governor, then Senate leader, indicated that she supported that effort at that time. And this is a very similar effort that we're doing because we believe that there's constitutional challenges to this current legislation that's being pushed.
One of your fellow senators, there's a quote that was floating around. I wonder what your take is on that. He said, if you're going to come get me, you better be bachelors and come armed. Is that, do you think he went too far? Do you feel that went too far?
Well, what I can tell you is that's not reflective of my views and the views of my caucus members. I can't speak directly to his comment because I serve on the Senate Conduct Committee, and if there's a complaint, it would come before that committee, and I don't want to prejudice the decision that happens there, but I can tell you that when I talked to the state police superintendent, I let him know that I respected the men and women, the officers that he has, and supported them, and wanted to make sure that he knew that. And so we've conveyed that we don't want any violence because this is a peaceful protest that we are engaged in right now. So we're not asking for the help of any groups or any other individuals. the 11 of us, soon to be 12, we believe can handle the current situation.
You're lying low until June 30th, and hopefully something will be worked out either then or before then.
Yeah, we're continuing to engage with our constituents through email, through social media, and we are awaiting negotiations that are going on. We're in contact with fellow senators on a regular basis, once or twice daily, and so we're hopeful that the end is in sight, but not yet.
Do you feel that the media coverage has been fair?
Yeah, I haven't seen anything other than there was a report that I think was mostly fake news by a national social media outlet.
Okay. And why Idaho?
Well, Idaho is not participating in helping to return Oregon legislators to Oregon, and so I refer to this portion of the country as Free America right now. So.
Okay. Washington hasn't been as accommodating?
Well, you know, you obviously have a governor who is running for president on climate change, and so I know our governor has been in contact with that administration, so we're just a lot more comfortable a little farther east.